Say it one more time.
Define the difference between manipulation and sales.
Manipulation is is manipulation a bad thing? There's going to be a good result for the person that you manipulated. If they're in the wrong direction,
yes,
it's a bad thing.
It's not a good thing. So I could have
Sales is giving people their options at the end. Manipulation is narrowing it down to one option, so they choose the option best suited for you.
What have we been talking about the first 2 days here?
People learning what their best options are.
Alignment, right? And so what it comes down to when we talk about manipulation, I have kids, so I could manipulate my 13-year-old daughter into doing something, and even though I know it's in her best interest, I promise you, when I manipulate her into what's in her best interest, I'm still gonna get a raging fight. And so I could know the best thing for you, and I could manipulate you into it. But when you get there, if you don't come to that conclusion on your own that's in full alignment with yourself, and you've come to your own kind of path of self-discovery to get to that place, no matter where I bring you to, you're still going to fight it. There's going to be resistance because this stuff is in your way. So it's not a matter, especially with life insurance, because it's not just the sale that matters, it's how you use the product that matters at the end. So if I get you to the point, even though it is potentially the best thing for you, if you're not in complete alignment with why you have it, you're still going to have that resistance there. So therefore, even it's potentially the best thing for you, you're going to self-sabotage the shit out of your life with it, and it's going to end up blowing up in your face, and it's going to end up not being a good product for you, and then it's going to end up giving the reputation a bad reputation, or the industry a bad reputation. That's the problem.
But that sounds like you're a good communicator, and you're helping them. That's what the good sales
right,
is.
but the difference between, but you say manipulation.
I don't want to manipulate.
No, but you said there. What's the difference between
you
manipulation?
said what's the difference between sales and manipulation?
You said there's not much of a difference. That's how it started. That's why I posed the question, because you put them right next to each other.
I was talking about communication. I believe sales, you have to be a good communicator.
Agreed.
And it's literally a conversation between you and the client, allowing them to understand all their options and then to make a decision. But in a way, people would consider sales to be manipulative that way, because you're looking for an end result. But a good salesperson doesn't look for just a commission check. They're looking for them to guide through a system with their client for them to ultimately make a decision. That's not manipulation, that's just showing them, that's just good communication.
I think it's like about caring about people.
Absolutely.
Right? So caring about people.
You need
meeting them where they are, seeking clarity to understand them better, caring about them, asking great questions, right? And then as you do that, it's no longer sales, it's no longer manipulation, it's just genuine curiosity. And because you've built yourself into a person who can actually truly add value, right? So what I'm hearing from you is like, you do all the right things, but the words you use are just not in alignment with who you actually show up as. Because you watch too many bullshit TikTok videos.
Potentially, sure. I get a lot of.
And so you get all wrapped up in that bullshit hype. That's because I know you wouldn't be here if I didn't know you at your core who you are. So I know that's not who you are. But there's this element of you're 22, and that's cool, right? And you get wrapped up in the hype of that world, and it's like fast cars and the cool shit and the fancy shit, closing high ticket sales and all the hype machine that is social media. It becomes absorbing, and so like you just get caught in that lingo, and that lingo is all bullshit. That's my problem with TikTok and Instagram Reels, is that it's all bullshit, 99.9% of it. So, but think about what you could do in your demographic if you were to go out and say, you know what, all this, rather than trying to play into it and trying to be a little more fancy and a little more creative with all the bullshit, to be like, guys, it's all bullshit, right? And you are the one in your age range, in your success level, that were to step in and be like, it's all bullshit, and here's why, right?
It takes one trip to Miami to realize all of it's just joke.
Yeah.
It's all rented,
and so
it's
what
all a facade.
Right. And so when you realize that, and you realize it's all one big empty hollow shell, what the fuck are we actually trying to work towards? What's the point of this? Yeah. So how do we actually show up and serve people and create a fulfilling life for ourselves, and by helping to elevate other people?
I'm never going to debate this guy again.
This is why David McKnight won't do it.
I'm scared.
But
I do get it.
But that's why you're here.
I know.
This is what you're called to do.
Yeah.
You need to stop trying to like, impress other people in that way. That's your biggest challenge. You just care too much what other people think. You do.
For sure.
But you have too much ability and too big of a heart. You have such an awesome opportunity to impact so many people. Because you do the right things. You need to stop giving a shit what other people think about what you say and go out and lead as a 22-year-old and go lead the people in your bracket, because that's what the world effing needs. Period.
So is it okay if I type in objection handles into ChatGPT
I-
to help guide the conversation?
To help guide it? Not if you're going to read them like a script.
But to understand.
Well, let me ask you this. Why would you need to do that? So what I would say is use ChatGPT.
I was just going to say this. This is where the conversation was heading before we started pressing record. So if I've never talked to a girl before, I'm a little nervous to talk to a girl,
That's fair.
potentially.
Until you do it 100 times.
Well, but a lot of that time I could have been a lot more effective and efficient with talking to the first one. So going and knowing what I'm going to talk about and how to talk about it and how to guide the conversation. Sorry, I thought there's probably a B on there's too many things in this place.
So I understand where you're going, so can I give you a little pushback on that? So the reason that going and talking with a girl and going and talking with a prospect are totally two different conversations is you going to talk to the girl is all about ultimately your outcome. Yes, you want what's right for her. Like, you want good things for the girl, but let's be real.
No.
Let's be real. Am I wrong?
No, but
am I wrong?
Outside that
Listen,
conversation.
I'm married, I got a beautiful wife, or whatever, and the first time I went and approached her, I promise you it wasn't for her best interest. Now, in the long run, let's all be real. We develop relationships, and it's great. But am I wrong?
In a bar, he's not wrong, but...
Okay. So with what we do, it can't ever be about you. It's always got to be about them. So imagine what your conversation with a woman would be like if you walked up to her and it was genuinely not with any of your interests at heart, and you just went up to every woman you ever met from here until the day you die, till the day you got married, and it was nothing to do with the outcome for you, but all about how could you create value for her, whatever that looked like. First of all, it would take all the pressure off you. No performance need, no nervousness, no whatever. Why? Because there is no outcome to be even worried about. You're just worried about going and adding value to her. So who gives a shit? She could be hot, she could be beautiful, she could be sweet, she could be dynamic, she could be intelligent, all these things. It's all great. The question is, how can you add value to her, and not what can you get back in return, and just assume that you're getting nothing back in return. You just want to serve with value. When you do that, there's nothing to be nervous about. There's nothing to be worked up about. There's nothing to, how do I overcome her objections? You don't care what the objections are because you're just trying to serve and add value. You see the difference? And if we can approach our clients in the same way, the prospects in the same way, what that does for you is it empowers you, because it takes all the expectation off the table and all the hope of a sale, and you're just doing nothing but adding value. And I promise you, if you do that, and you do nothing but add value, that value will come back to you in the long run. And by think about it this way, by doing that with women, you can go ask anybody. That will land you your best potential partner, mate, wife. That checks all the boxes for you, because that's what's going to attract the one that you want to be with.
I'm a dinosaur.
Very cool.
James, your advice is trash compared to this one. Oh, no, the dating advice.
I don't know.
Anyways, that's not the video topic.
You're a woman.
How did that sound?
Sounded amazing.
What Chris said? It sounded spot on.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
It absolutely did. It did.
So do you see, though, when you get into the overcoming objections, that triggers me, because stop watching Grant Cardone, please.
Stop reading any sales book.
No, that's not the truth. Not all sales books do that. Stop reading bad sales books. It's not about sales. It's about service. It's about value creation.
Which makes it more sales, ultimately, down the road.
It will create more revenue and a better lifestyle for you by the nature of your ability to elevate by you elevating your ability to create value for people. Money follows value, right? So you stop looking at it as so what is sales? Sales is transactional, right? That's what it is. So by you saying this, you're saying you're trying to, by nature, the definition of a sale is an extraction event. I'm trying to separate you from your money. If I'm trying to sell you something, I'm trying to get you to do something. So I'm exactly what we talked about in the training the other day. I'm trying to extract that money from you because there's a give and a take of it, right? So that's what it is. But if I come to you and I'm not focused on selling you, I'm just trying to focus on value creation into your life, right? And adding as much value. Okay, you're here right now. This is the second time you've been here. When have I ever tried to sell you anything? And I never will.
No.
Right? But you're here and you're paying to be here.
Value.
And you will continue to pay and come be in this whole thing. Why? Because it's elevating value in your life.
Right. It's not
That's
a sale.
it.
Yeah, damn.
That's it.
Damn. That's so true. You never once sold me on any of it.
Never once. And
It's
I'm
just
never
that
going
you
to.
were the value source for me. So I like.
And the only way that works is by me elevating myself constantly. Right? Because you're going to elevate. If I don't elevate, eventually you're going to elevate and you're not going to need me anymore. Right?
So
It's like Tony Robbins always said, like, people are always going up to Tony being like, oh, you're nothing special. I'm going to be where you are too. He's like, I hope you are, because by the time you're where I am, I'm going to be up here. That's cool. Good for you. Right? So we all got to be on this growth journey together, right? And I don't want to just be up here and have all, I want everybody to rise too. But that doesn't mean I want to stop rising, right? And I hope I surround myself with people that rise too, and if you want to pass me, try.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you do, well then, guess what? That's a blessing for me too, because now you're in my network, right?
Yeah.
And I might not be able to create more value for you anymore, but by the nature that you're in my network and we have a great relationship and I helped you get there, now that increases the value that I have for everybody else in my world, right?
This is the difference between sales and just adding showing up showing with pure
Authenticity.
Showing up with pure authenticity and adding as much value as possible for
100%.
anything.
Right.
And that will create better connections, better relationships, better opportunities.
Yeah.
Maybe not as much, but more like, I always call it like sniper shot opportunities. Because rather than just machine gun spraying, the connections are real. So clients become friends. Friends want to add value to each other's lives. Look at everyone around here. We're all like really close.
Super close
now.
Why? Because
You've added value in everyone's life.
Not just I focus on creating value, but now everybody that's here it's a community of shared values, right?
We all want to get somewhere, and we all know if we help each other, we get there faster and better. Honestly, we can hold each other accountable.
So think about it this way too. Now, when you get where you want to go and you build your business doing it the way that I've been talking about instead of just doing sales, now like the sales way, the Grant Cardone way, you may make the money. You may like have the fancy cars, but you're going to feel empty and unfulfilled because you're not going to have the community in the same way. By doing it the way we're talking about, you're going to have more freedom, you're going to have better relationships, you're going to have better community, you're going to have better fulfillment. Your quality of life is going to be infinitely better.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris, for the 100th time. I always actually genuinely try to throw Chris off of his game, but then it just shows like I can't. Like because you got what? You got a lot more experience than me, and you've probably been through it 100 times over. So while I've only been doing this for 5, and actually doing it properly probably for 1. Clearly, I'm not doing everything proper. No,
but you're 22, so you're on your journey. You're infinitely further ahead than I was at 22. Right. So
I wish I knew who you were when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
I wish I would have known, because my life would be completely different now.
Right.
I wouldn't be feeling like I have to play catch up because I didn't have anyone in my age group to show me what they were doing and be like, wow, maybe I need to think differently and not just follow the model.
Right. You have such a unique opportunity to be such a leader. If you could take the messaging that we're talking about right now, and instead of trying to be one of the bros, fight against the bros and show all the bros why they're wrong, your life will never be the same.
I'm gonna do that. That could be definitely my niche. That's the thing. Oh, this is all BS. Do this.
But don't do it because it wants to be your thing. Do it because it's who you are at your core, and you're sick of trying to fit into everybody else's.
100%. And I have been. I absolutely have been.
Right.
But it's still like when you're getting fed all this info. We'll end the video here, shoot. When this is how every single interaction goes.
I'm not going to shut it off because I don't want to miss anything.
You can have a great mentor, but if you constantly surround yourself, what's the worst thing you could possibly do? Scroll all this. I scroll constantly. My feed is always filled with all this cars, bad sales content, or like improper sales content. The one that leads to a lot of money but an unfulfilled life. And if you become what you think about most, you become like you have 5 friends, you're going to become the ones those
Yep.
people. So with that said, that's what I'm always surrounding myself with. So even if I come here, even if I go back to that same, so it's literally about
Put
getting rid of
yourself
all
back
that.
in that tank.
Yeah. Anyways.
End the video.
All right, cut.
Was that intentional?